Welcome back. Today we have Guilford County's Register of Deeds, Jeff Thigpen, with us to discuss all kinds of things from flag displays and best practices to what the Register of Deeds does and how it plays into your life. For folks who don't know, what does the Register of Deeds do and how does it play?
Yeah, a simple rule of thumb is that no one knows what I do until they buy a house, have a child, they need a birth certificate, there's a death in the family, and they need a death certificate, marriage licenses are at our office. And like I said, when I said buying a house, home deeds. We also are filed in our office, and we also have a passport office that is a walk-in office in our Greensboro office in Greensboro.
Okay, so all the things, many things that touch your life. Okay, we do have
Yes.
a few questions already. One person says, how do I fly my house flag at half staff?
Yeah, that's a good question. Some people may not physically be able to fly it at half staff, and I think that's understandable, and there's no specific guidance as to how to do it. But I think that, in those cases, I think just flying your flag probably would mean a lot.
All right, the next question is, can veterans archive their DD 214?
Yes, they can file it in the Registry of Deeds office with us, and we will be able to provide a certified copy, and that is a form of archiving of it. And of course, Veteran Affairs would have a copy of it as well.
Okay, certified copy. Now, this is a question actually that I asked you by text not too long ago. I had a dear friend who lost their parent, and she didn't know how many death certificates that she needed to get. And so I asked you about that. So let's talk about that a little bit, because when something like that happens, grief is your main focus. You're not thinking about all the other pieces of paperwork.
Exactly. And we have a good grief podcast series that gets into some of those issues, but specifically around death certificates, usually people get six because they are, using it for the bank, using it for insurance purposes, using it to set up estates. So there's a number of things that happen at the point of a person, passing away, at which they're going to use those death certificates for. And so, kind of the rule of thumb that we see on a regular basis is about six.
Okay, and part of the problem is a lot of places like your Visa card or life
Yes.
insurance policy or something like that, they won't take a copy of the death certificate. They want an original certified death certificate.
Yeah, and certified copies are $10 a piece, and they come with the seal of the office on it. They can be ordered online, and you can come into our office and pick them up.
Okay, so every death certificate is $10.
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure about that. And if you needed ones later because you did not get enough, you could come back and do that again?
Absolutely. You can do it online or come into our office. It's very convenient.
Okay, we've got a question that follows up. It says, how much is it to get a copy of my birth certificate?
$10.
Okay, and so what about if do you have to go to the county that you were born in? Because what about if you were born out of state and you still need that birth certificate?
Yeah, there are different laws in different states, and so if you're out of state, you're going to need to know, if it's Virginia or Maryland, you're going to have to understand the specific local or state entity that houses those death certificates to be able to order them through them. Sometimes they have online services, that kind of thing. And also, if it's out of county, you can go to North Carolina Vital Records, and they can supply that to you as well.
Okay, so it's not necessarily that I get to go to the Guilford County Register of Deeds to get my birth certificate because it's not going to be there
Right. We're not going to
if
have
I
all
wasn't
of
born
it.
there.
We can of course help you, in terms of where to go and how to get it.
Gotcha. So this question is about marriage licenses. They're wondering if there's a backlog of marriage licenses and what is the timeline for the marriage license process?
No, there's no backlog right now. And anyone who wants to get married, the couple can come in to the office and fill out a marriage license application. They can also do that online, and which makes it easier. And so the whole process can take 10 or 15 minutes. You have to, if you can get the marriage license in Guilford County and get married anywhere in North Carolina within 60 days, and you have to bring it back to our office once that's done. And I think the cost of a marriage license is $60, and there's some additional information the officiant will fill out once you get married, and that will be a part of the packet that is returned back to us within that. period.
60 days, $60. Okay, got it. All right.